Okay, good morning. Um, I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the work that we have been doing with obviously butterflies. Yeah, if you know me, I just love watching butterflies. So uh, I will just talk about how we are trying to promote a little bit of systematic butterfly counts rather than just watching butterflies in India. So a little bit about the kind of history of how research has been happening in India. So uh, from early 18th century, there have been some British collectors mostly. They were not really scientists, but they were army people or some of the engineers there who have been working in India and also collecting and writing about uh, Indian butterflies. So there were some really good kind of foundational taxonomic work done by those people. And then there were also in the kind of middle of 20th century, again, there were more Britishers, and kind of their work started flowing into the post independence era, how kind of recording butterflies and creating some again monumental works on all the Indian species. Later in the 20th century, as Indian scientists started exploring and looking into, several books by Indian authors started coming out where they were all studying butterflies either through the government agencies or sometimes through some of the non-profits. And in last 10 years, I would say there are more so to say citizen science activities getting together. Butterfly India is one of those groups, Indian Foundation for Butterflies, and that kind of initiated the big butterfly month that I'm going to talk about. Also other things happening, like some data has been flowing into GBIF through iNaturalist, or some of the researchers are now publishing. There have been some new discoveries in last 10, 12 years in the biodiversity hotspots of Western Ghats and northeastern India, the Himalayan part. And now recently some molecular work is also kind of started. So that's a little brief of how the research has been happening in India. And about 6 years ago, in 2020, me and some of my friends, we initiated this activity called Big Butterfly Month. We thought that butterflies need a kind of focus, and we can kind of bring all the enthusiasts together to talk about butterflies, to go look out butterflies, and at some point actually start doing some serious work with butterflies as citizen scientists. So this is a completely kind of citizens initiative to mainly celebrate and enjoy butterflies. But in the background somewhere we want to sneak in some serious work, some kind of citizen science work to be part of that. So when it comes to data collection, the easiest thing is just the point records, occurrence records. People take pictures and put it on iNaturalist, or we have a local portal, India Biodiversity Portal. So people do that, but we always wanted to also have a little more than that. And we started this butterfly count. So these are basically very simple 30-minute counts where you don't have to follow a track or anything, but just count in a time-limited fashion and try to also document abundances rather than just spot record. So that's the main purpose of this survey. And then what we have been doing is promoting this, teaching people and getting some kind of structured data so that I mean, on one hand, it has to be really easy to follow because these are all non-scientists, students, sometimes even families, who are familiar with butterflies because they have been watching butterflies, posting them on iNaturalist, learning about them. But it also should generate some useful data. So that's the kind of midpoint that we have been trying to find here. And then how to engage people, because this is something new. People have been just watching butterflies, maybe making some notes, but how to teach them to count. So we had some social media channel, we had a kind of network of people, network of organizations who were becoming part of Big Butterfly Month. So we started kind of promoting it through that. We started teaching the methodology. Remember, it is year 2020, so it was just like post-COVID. People were still not sure whether they should go out in groups. So we did all the initial training on Zoom. So we took actually phones and cameras in the field and showed how to count butterflies. We fortunately had good cell coverage there, so we could do it. And then we recorded all that, shared it on YouTube, and then people started watching it. Then we had follow-up question answer sessions, because sometimes just the video is not enough for how do I do this, how do I do that. So we did that. And then we just came up with a very simple spreadsheet-based format and shared with people and said, okay, you just try it out, fill it, and send it back to us. And just to kind of sweeten the deal, we said, okay, at least we will kind of recognize you if you submit counts. We recognize people, we recognize region from where more counts are coming, just kind of so that everyone in India knows, oh, okay, the other state is doing well, maybe we should be doing something. So that's how we basically promoted it. And then after getting the data, how do we do it? So we just created a specific email address, so everyone was sending the Excel sheets to that. We just downloaded all the Excel sheet attachments, dumped into a folder, and then I wrote a R script to just read each and every file and kind of compile all the data into a big spreadsheet, which was about like 5,000 records, and then we had all this data together. And then after that was done, obviously some basic quality checks, whether all the names written make sense or not, and are all these butterflies, or have people tried sneaking in some birds and other things into that, and all these things. Then after all that cleaning, we converted into Darwin Core. We also reached out to people because initially we did not think about it, obviously, got their ORC IDs so that the data records when we publish on GBIF are linked to the proper citizen scientist, and then we publish it on GBIF. So that's a kind of brief data workflow. And this is the data set for year 2020 that we published, and it's already, you can see it's already got 6 citations in 1 year. So that's really good. People started looking at it. So this is the kind of countrywide coverage of where the data is coming from, all the points, and just a little summary. We had 369 actual forms that people submitted, and remember, this is only for 1 month of September. And we actually taught people how to do it in the beginning of September. So it's effectively just 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, people, there are 122 people or teams participated in these counts. There were about 5,500 occurrences, and out of that, about 5,200 were actually identified at species level, which was good. We were not hoping that that high number will come. And there were about 360 taxa, so including species and sometimes genus or family level. That was that's how much data we got in our first year. And then what we are thinking, what are the challenges kind of going forward? Why, how we can kind of make this better? So one thing is for sure that just making iNaturalist record, you see a butterfly, you photograph, and that's it. It's much easier. But if you have to do these counts, you have to commit to 30 minutes. You also need to have some basic identification skills, because iNaturalist, you take a picture, you post, someone else is going to identify it. But if you are taking a count, you need to at least know if not species, what genus it is, so that it makes sense. You can't just have everything counted as a butterfly, right? So you need to have some segregation. So people with at least some basic identification skill. And another thing we realized that people were not familiar with this methodology. People were just watching butterflies. So kind of emphasizing them, saying, okay, this is something that you need to be following. It needs a little more commitment, but then there are certain benefits, like the data can be used in more than just spot records. So that was a challenge, and now slowly people are realizing it. And then what we plan to do in future. One of our team members actually has developed a app to do this, so that we don't have to send them Excel sheets and receive them back and do all the thing. The app is storing the data locally, as well as also storing it in a central location, so that we can just download the data and use it. And since last 3-4 years, people have been doing these counts, but only in that month, because we are promoting that. Now the plan is to promote the counts throughout the year, so that we have like actually a good data set for the complete year, what's happening year round. So that is second thing. And other thing, we are always working on improving our data workflow, so that the data curation as well as the data publishing at the end of it should be easier for us, and we don't have to spend a lot of time working on that. So yeah, that's thing. And basically the conclusions that we came is GV data publication, it really made data really more visible, accessible. You can see there are more than 3,800 downloads already of this particular data set in some form or the other, and there are already a few citations that have come through. And then also we're thinking that after publication now, citizen scientists are kind of, okay, my work is getting some visibility. If I look up my ORC ID, I can actually see what records I counted. So that is a kind of working as some kind of incentive, and more people are now participating, and now they are asking, okay, tell us when you want to take more counts, and when and where, kind of thing. So that's a good thing. So yeah, that's all. If you want to look at the data set, and if you want to try out the app, these are the QR codes for that, and yeah, that's it.